stepping into the first round of this grand finals, and it's gonna be Flying Clouds with Aurora Philippines first pick and Alter Ego in the second. And look at Alter Ego already going for those direct bans, banning on the Bertskie and the Khalid. Aurora, amazing ban on that Freya, but this does not scream the Leomord first pick.
Kind of does, but at the same time, we don't know where Aurora is going to put their priorities. At the same time, they can open up with a Sora if they wanted to, if AE lets it go. And at the same time, as much as I love the Leomord, one of the few matchups that I think that Leomord is great at specifically is when it's up against the Yi Shin. The timings is just so awkward for the YSS.
But the Jushin is open for Aurora, although there is an Eve that Alter Ego can pick. I think that most teams are just so comfortable picking up the Jushin, and Aurora is not a team that will pass up on that. However, with the Leomord being open, like I said, it could be the open here for Aurora. Now, that's the Jushin. Now, Alter Ego, they're that kind of team that when they ban the backshot, they know that you will get Uranus here. I think Leomord and Uranus is the opening for Alter Ego because they know that Lunox or any kind of Shredder, including the backshot, will no longer be available to counter that Uranus.
With that in mind, why not go for Esmeralda instead of the Uranus?
Well, they do have that kind of, they do have that variation. Sometimes they combo the Uranus with the Esmeralda, in fact. It actually happened before.
All right.
It's going to be, instead, this is a different iteration of the pattern of Alter Ego. This is what makes Zephyr really amazing because even with this kind of pattern that you already laid down, there is always a variation to it. Now, Aurora, that's immediately a Heron.
Wow, this is a really incredible read coming in from AE side. Their own opener, knowing that they're expecting some sort of traditional marksman in the gold. You know what? Let's force you to at least take the Purify. But that does leave, a lot to be said. Fredrin, 100% win rate coming in from Demon Kai. Why would you let that through knowingly as AE locks in the Phobius?
Because they are prepared for it. They will pick up the Phobius to counteract the potential explainer coming out from Aurora because they will just ban out the counters to the Phobius. For example, the Esmeralda, or maybe pick that up. Oh no, they will not pick it up. And also because they know that it is also an answer to the hand potentially. Phobius in the Explain with the Kalea, and then maybe a Farsa as their fourth pick. It makes it so that their first turtle is so strong up against the Fredrin.
Now let's talk about the upcoming mid-trio, because I'm already seeing Cho getting banned out for the side of AE. The fact that they also got rid of the Khalid in the very first phase does give me an idea that AE want to fight for the mid lane somehow. They know that they could get Eve later down the line, but they've waited so long for it, allowing Aurora to potentially ban it.
Yeah, that's right.
Gentlemen, can I just say I'm very happy that we're opening up where both teams are kind of playing to their comfort, playing to their own play style, because Aurora, I would say 100% win against SRG when they go for utility jungle, and now Alter Ego, even the first opening here, they're already showing the willingness to fight and picking up this Claude again, the pick that was able to beat Team Liquid Philippines.
Okay. Now, I'm actually not going to be surprised if the chip is going to be banned by Alter Ego. There it is. It's such a good ban because I think you would think that maybe the Hylas is a better ban or maybe a Badang because of their composition. But Aurora have shown that they are willing to pick up the chip. And with Fredrin, with Jushin, and Harith, you can easily activate those heroes, and chip will be a difficult matchup if ever they prefer. So this is a smart ban.
It's taking away multiple different angles to actually engage in these fights. And personally, for me, I think it's a better option because Hylos and as well as Gatot are very straightforward. They're kind of linear style of roamers in comparison to Chip and Cho.
Oh, they're forcing the Farsa, but Alter Ego might just go for Lunox here.
Honestly, even Farsa is not bad. Having that Kalia can kind of give you quite a lot of tempo in early. In fact, you don't even have to rush it, right? You can pick up your jungler, but if your jungler is going to be something that Zephyr really wants to surprise us again, you can just pick up your mid here. Either Farsa or Lunox works well because you have a Kalia.
Farsa is the safest option, obviously. Now, Aurora will not pick up the Yuuzhan anymore. I think they will just go for the Lapu-Lapu because it just makes sense, right?
So much safer.
So much safer, but you also have that option of the Esmeralda.
Oh wait, no, Arlet is still available.
That's,
oh yeah.
But up against the Phobius?
Yeah, but against Farsa and Claude, right?
I think it boils down to the question, Edward, do you want to win the lane? Can we trust you enough to hold out in the lane till we get to the mid game where we can actually utilize you in bigger team fights?
Yeah, I think the Arlet, maybe the Uranus can also be picked up, but
or CC.
The Lapu-Lapu is the best option here.
They need damage. They need that bridge for the turtle fights.
So that should be Lapu-Lapu. And
Yuuzhan is still open.
Hylas perhaps for light.
They can go Hylas or Gatot. It kind of depends on what they want. Disengage or something more to fight. Good call, Wolf. Good call.
Now, if you're Alter Ego, you're going to be looking for your jungler now. Up against the Fredrin, you usually think about the Akai, right? Akai's good.
It's not
Or
bad.
Guinevere, actually. But what if they go Suyo? There's not much magic damage from the other sources, but apparent, of course, in the early game.
But they do have a lot of CC, which is why I'm a little concerned about this, right? Does that mean that if we go for Suyo, we just have to omit, you know what, we're not going to go for the neutrals until Lords, we're looking to get advantages in lane.
Just win early, right? But they pick up the Nolan instead. So again, this is Alter Ego saying like, we got somewhere to be, guys. Let's end the game very, very fast. What do you feel about the draft for Aurora?
I think it's pretty even. There's a slight advantage for Alter Ego.
Well, what about you, Gideon?
I don't know. I think that it's a little more lopsided than that. I think that Aurora definitely is going to be slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it tight, I think mid-game it's pretty easy for them.
You know what? I'm very sorry to the stats on screen, but I legit don't care because at this point, there's something that you can't calculate, and that's the player spirit here using all their favorite heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft has finished up, this is game number 1 of this grand finals. Gonna be flying clouds. So now we're gonna be throwing it over to our casters, Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
It's time to write the first chapter in the revelation that is this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora Gaming Philippines from the upper bracket, Alter Ego from the lower, doing the nigh impossible, now stand on the grand stage.
All right, taking a look at this draft, we have a new pick, at least from last series and all of yesterday. We haven't seen Yasuke on this Nolan yet, and he's gonna bring it up in game number 1. This is all about feeling each other out in a best of 7.
But we have seen a similar pick to this, the Suyo, something that wants to go fast and something that is very Alter Ego.
And they're going down memory lane. There was a time where Nolan was in the metagame alongside Suyo. So it's clear that Coach Zephyr, Professor X's needs and foresight are coming through. Quick peek at the emblems if you plan on playing Nolan in this current metagame. There's not much really changing here. Oh, big start mid.
Yep, just a little bit more damage over on Yue. Alec blocking the passive constantly, getting the sustain over to Hijume.
I mean, well done already. We're seeing the aggression in the mid, but still nobody goes down. Demon Kite on this spread run. I mean, Aurora Gaming, I feel like their draft, they just keep it so simple. They keep it very Aurora Gaming PH. And if they win with this, it's a very good start from them because they don't have to change too much up. It's their style.
It's getting full from a basic breakfast or like a little glass of milk, a cup of coffee, if you will. Alter Ego, though, they're flexing how deep their hero pool goes. Could have sworn they were going to go utility as well, since there is a good combo in Hijume and Alec, and then they can bank on Arfi. But Yasuke, the hero pool on this young man.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of teasing about in the pre-match, right? We were talking about how Alter Ego, they want to go fast, but Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how to play slow. They know how to slow the tempo down all the way to a point where Alter Ego makes mistakes. And already they're setting up, but look, already Dark Wave coming in. Demon Kite taking down the Fracture and all in. The light coming in for the re-engage. Yue pops in Crimson Beacon, able to get a Lantern Flare. Edward jumps in now with the Brave of Spider. It's going to be Nino in the back line as Edward.
Way taking a lot of damage, might just go down here.
And Alec will take a few shots. Nino! With Infinite Pursuit now jumps again. Another jump forward, but now he's caught in a bad place. Has another proc of the Infinite Pursuit. Will be able to go for the jump again and again. Takes a turret shot and gets shanked by Demon Kite as Yasuke moves to the purple buff.
A speedy response from Alter Ego, just as speedy as their start was. Demon Kite with a clutch take, didn't even use Retry.
Alter Ego start things off fast. They do win out in kills. It's still the first turtle on the map, though. Yasuke tries to take a different path. Not getting that purple means they didn't get too much out of that trade.
Yep, flickers were used, and now we're jumping over Turtle 1.
Nino in the back going in for Yue. Yasuke's going to be taken very low by Edward. He's going to go for the stun. Glorious Pathway coming down as the turtle was already secured by Demon Kite, but now it's going to be Nino all alone. Crimson Beacon and Lantern Flare picking him up. He's trying to go for the pursuit. Dark Wave by Nino. Jumps over on Edward. Gets another proc, but will be slain by Edward.
Alec has to get out of here with a Tsunami Slam. Looking for the escape.
Alec cannot escape. There was a lantern on him and a big horse.
A little too early for El Padre to be pushing their limits. Again, this is a Phobius. You need some modicum of items built to be able to do that.
Luckily, Yasuke, though, keeps on getting out of these fights. As long as Yasuke stands tall, they have a chance in future neutral objectives. All the games that we saw last time, when they lost, Yasuke had a bad game, so it's huge to keep him on 1-0.
You're alluding to his game on the Fanny, the clincher against SRG. Yeah, I could have sworn, watching that too, we're going all the way. But here, I agree. Yasuke needs that same amount of patience. Sure, he hasn't got punished yet, hasn't died, but if you want to take it to Aurora Gaming, you have to play the slow game.
And this is the thing about the Nolan. You actually shouldn't be contesting a neutral objective early. Yes, if there are real situations where Nino can actually zone Demon Kite, then take it. But now they're going to go for the dive in the bottom lane. Alec, flicker in, Tsunami Slam, Fracture come down, and all in over on Edward. And it's a pick down below, but look at the response from Aurora Gaming. Glorious pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at this point. He's got to get out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throw down back. But again, it's Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora, but macro-wise, the trade is good. It's an XP laner for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems, no. Demon Kai has the orange ball.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump over on Alec from Edward. Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yasuke doesn't seem interested. Now his Light gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora. Arfi, Blazing Duet up top.
That's an ult for an ult in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against the alter ego, but not anymore because AE, they're willing to fight. A little bit of pressure, Tsunami Slam.
The lockdown now with Hijime going for the sun as well. Big bonk, Alec gonna be taking it now. Good taunt coming down as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side. They stay in front of Pursuit to take him down as Yasuke goes in with the Helmet of the Dark Wave from Nino over on UA with the Crimson Beacon. Gets him to safety and now they go back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never shy. El Padre pushing forward. Dominkite finds Yasuke. But again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Sinai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Sight does lock in for Dominkite in the jungle. Even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
Oh. All right. In the bush, Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel supervision and all in coming down. Arfi Blazing Duet, Tsunami Slam based on a Purify, and they get the kill on Doming. Onto Arfi, turtle up top though is the response from Aurora.
I don't know how worth it is to trade your gold laner for the turtle. I'm sure Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego, plus big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and UA to try to get down to save it.
Trades all over, and so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to buy time till around 9-10 minutes, wait till a couple lords where they can beat you out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble. And that's why Aurora's backing off.
Nami's on the glorious pathway again. UA able to go for the Crimson Beacon, flicker up from Hijime, but it gets picked up and thrown back to the Freya's Light goes in with Edward. But Alec is still able to sustain. Arfi
Arfi into the backside with a blazing duet!
Gets big bonked on him. Now the fracture coming in from Yazuki to take Domin Kaitan as Nito continues to jump back and forth. Inferno pursuit, but now it's Yue to lock him down. He goes for one last one, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls! And Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turn it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. An unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is, it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Hijume just popped like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Straight line.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Domang on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled on that fight. He went in way too early, and now Aurora's holding the turret, the Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move, the conceal from Alec.
You know, walking up at Edward, doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. The Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now look at the damage on Ijume. It's Edward in the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
You know, jumping to the back line now, trying to go for the Inferno Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Domang, Kai, and Yue going for the damage. Domang doing enough to take Nito down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not the aggressors, they're not the predators, they're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu, but that is what Edward is right now.
Thanks.
Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Hijume, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam it to either of these carries, should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I clean up?
I think the big thing for Alter Ego in past games is they're able to last it up. Wait a second.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no response from Alter Ego. Arfi taking a big portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic Aurora.
They smelled something was fishy there. No vision on Yasuke. Where's he's hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel. They don't need to see Yasuke, but the fact that they don't see him
Means they see him.
should be a signal, yeah, that
They know where he at.
around. They
Not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Hijume forced to use the Feathered Airstrike just to clear mid, as
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that Glorious Pathway. Hijume just wings by wings out.
At this point, it's a mind game from Light, dude.
And at this point, they're farming each other's purples. I think that's like the third one to just go to opposite sides.
Cross jungling.
Cross jungling, exactly.
Light here gets that stun on Alec. Even Alec isn't having the greatest time. A majority of the targets that he can hit will either purify or would love to be in the center of Alter Ego's lineup.
All right, so taking a look at these items one more time. Yasuke's been farming his mind off, essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items up.
But him being ahead by 100 isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies and gentlemen, are significantly cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be like 1,000, 1,500 up. Because look, Demon Kite's Fredrin already has Athena Shield, Anti-Cuirass, Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is when we see the Yi Sun-Shin against a Fredrin, Nolan against the Fredrin, the splash clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well here in game number 1. Not only are they winning head-on initiations, but they're able to find resources to take away from Yasuke. Light counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the Dark Wave, landing it onto, but now Edward forced to fight. That's good. Tsunami's time to cancel out the last portion of the Raging Slash. Big pong from Demon Kite, and Edward cuts him down again. He's on a killing spree.
Yasuke still in the jungle, gonna try to lock on.
That ain't it. He got taunted by the Demon, and Domeng takes him down.
Yue and Domenkite are good targets, but not when there's two chunky boys next to them. Make it three, a half man, half horse.
And that's the way that Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite and Light. Because if anyone tries to catch Domeng and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the taunt comes in. The little bonk from Hylos comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this stage, in this arena, not a single game he won. And he's just moments away from correcting that, historically.
4-1-6. Man is performed. Oh, wait a second. This is a classic alter ego move. Whenever the enemy gets a lord, they go to look for the pickup, but can they take Edward down? Tsunami's time coming down with the burst damage of Ijume, and Edward will have the immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out, and Edward does survive, and now he goes back in with a helmet Demon Kite. Meanwhile, Light on the back line with Yue, jumping in as Domeng goes for the base, but is on force already. Yasuke getting rid of Yue, but Domeng has to be all over the way. Yue comes in from RP!
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone, now against 4. He's jumping ready for the pursuit. He's so tanky, but again, he's constantly jumping in as RP does a lot of damage. Dark Wave coming in from Nino, but Domeng takes him down.
The minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
They're gonna go straight for it. No nonsense. Aurora take game 1.
Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern Lights.
Hopefully at